The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
And welcome to Phil's Gang. Okay, today we had a big bump in the market. That's right. Up over 550 points. Now it's at 454 points. But remember, it doesn't fix the problem that we have is inflation. Inflation is still the problem. Now, if you remember, if we go back to Wednesday, we had a 500-point rally in the market. Didn't last long. And then on top of that 500-point rally, we had, of course, what's going on today, another 600-point or 500-point rally. But the one that started on Wednesday was about, hey, no rate cuts. We're not going to rate cut. We're not going to rate hike. And people went nuts, 570 points. But there's no beef to it. You know, they can say that all day long, you know. Rate cuts, no rate cuts. It's all they talk about. They don't talk about earnings. You know what they really don't talk about is inflation. That's the whole problem, is our inflation. It's not the jobs. So today, after we had that failed 570-point rally, they had to do something. So they come out with, last night, remember, they came out with Apple, their earnings. And then they announced that Apple is going to do a stock buyback. The biggest in history, $110 billion buying their own stock back. That's insane. I mean, we've been through this now for 15 years, where we've gone into debt. The reason we got so much inflation, one of the reasons, is because of all the debt. Because the whole stock market for the last 15 years has been going up, not because of earnings, but because of debt. We keep on increasing our money supply. We keep printing money to keep buying treasuries, to get rates down, so to keep giving money to the companies at zero interest rates, which right now is not helping them because all these companies, they're the big corporations, they're losing money. Because it's different when you're paying for a line of credit, 0 plus maybe half a point, but now they're paying 5 plus maybe 1.5, 2 points. So that's why the big corporations, their profits are tanking. There's only a handful of companies that are giving us good earnings. But anyway, so they started out Wednesday with the 570-point rally. That didn't work. All based on no rate cut, no rate hike. Apple comes out, says they're going to turn around now and they're going to do $110 billion stock buyback. People went crazy, started to buy the stock. And the market, just went nuts. Now remember, there was a perfect setup. Think about it. So today, when the jobs number came out, the jobs number was cool. And then, but you had a hot unemployment number. So the jobs number came in less than expected, and your unemployment rate was more than expected. That sets up for a fake narrative of, oh, we're going to start rate cuts again. And that's what happened. It's insane. So what people don't understand is that, and what a coincidence that was, right? That they decided to do the stock buyback, and they announce it right before the earnings come out today. And then they have, so think about it. So today they had Apple report last night. They reported Apple last night, and then they announced what they're going to buy. And then this morning you have Amgen come out talking about how they're going to have this, they got this new diet pill. All excited about that. So you take the diet pill, you take the big stock buyback, and people were just going nuts. Now, I told my gang members for the last 2 weeks, I said, they're going to run this market before it fails. They always run markets before it fails. Matter of fact, in 1987 is a perfect example of the run they had in that market right before it failed. It went up about 40%, which, if you think about it, we just had a 20% rally from October to March. So it's setting up just like what happened back in 1987. So the problem with these rallies is it doesn't fix the overall problem. Inflation. Inflation doesn't go away because of some cool job numbers and some hot unemployment number and or a board of directors approve in the future they're going to buy 110 billion in stock buybacks. And that doesn't change inflation. We got a real problem with inflation. You know why we got such a problem with inflation? Because they never wanted to raise rates enough. They always wanted to make sure the White House would have a soft landing. A soft landing. That's all they talk about. Soft landing, soft landing, soft landing. And so they never raised rates enough. They should have taken the rates and just popped them up. You know, not a half a point, not a quarter point, but I mean, pop them up about 15%. And so they really wipe out inflation like Volcker did. They never wanted to do that because they're afraid they weren't going to get their soft landing. Well, they're not going to get their soft landing anyways, because a soft landing, as I said, happened one time in 70 years because the sun, the stars, the moons all have to line up perfectly. So, and you got to line up so perfect, whereas in interest rates need to be rising. At the same time, inflation needs to be declining, and economic GDP growth needs to be expanding. How are they going to get a soft landing? Our GDP growth is tanking. Our GDP growth is going down, not up. Our price inflation, the biggest gain in 1 year, up 3.4%. In fact, if you look from the time Biden became president to now, electricity under Biden's up 30%. 30%. What are you, nuts? Under Trump, under 4 years under Trump was up 5%. So under Biden, under 4 years, it's up 30%. Yeah, that's insane. And the other problem is consumer spending is down. So how are you going to grow your GDP? And when you have consumers with the highest debt in 200 years, they don't have any money left, no disposable income left to go buy a TV, a car, just staples. And the other problem we have right now is small businesses. Small businesses are really hurting. Their confidence is the lowest in 12 years. 12 years. Which, that shows that, you know, we're in real trouble. Because, see, all the jobs they talk about are all part-time jobs. That's the problem. Low-paying part-time jobs. And most of the jobs, again, are government jobs. Now, you'll hear a lot of jobs being created like healthcare. Well, that's a real government job because even though it's the private sector, the government pays for those employees, pays for those companies. Anything to do with healthcare, the government pays. It comes from the government, comes from you and me. Now, you go back and you take a look at inflation. What is it they don't get about inflation? Like they think it's going to go away in 10 minutes? The American COVID Rescue Plan, that was the biggest contributor of inflation ever. We're still suffering with that. Think about the moratoriums. You didn't have to pay your car payment, your rent payment. Everyone in your family got $1,400 each. Savings increased $32 trillion. This was insane. That's all inflation. Biden created all this inflation. And he brought with us some real big problems that nobody talks about. Well, I'm going to talk about after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. This message is for those of you asking the question, what do you think the stock market is going to do?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Well, you don't have to ask that question when you listen to my radio show, because you're going to know exactly what the market's going to do. You're going to know if the market's going to go up, you're going to know if the market's going to go down, or the market's not going to go anywhere.
Phil Grande and philsgang.com takes the worry out of investing.
Pay attention to my show, philsgang.com. It's fun, entertaining, and you get the greatest information, especially stock picks.
That's philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars, but I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's Gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Apple. So Apple took off again today. I'm going to help you with Apple. Do not, in any circumstances, buy Apple today. You're going to get hurt. Okay? Do not buy Apple until you at least, let me give you a number. Wait till Apple gets above a high of about $200. You're at 184. To buy Apple now between 184 and the high at $200, there's nothing but sellers in there, and they're all institutions. They're selling Apple. They're not buying Apple. And this thing that, they're going to go ahead and they're going to buy their own shares, they didn't do it yet. And they may not do it for a while. You can't depend on that. You can't go in and buy a stock. Never go and buy a stock when they say, our board approved. They do that trick all the time. And the stock goes up, everybody chase it, and then they don't buy their own shares. Or they wait 6-7 months. By then, you already bought into the stock, and it came all the way down again. But going back to the real problem, when Biden took over office from Trump, when he went into the Oval Office, and he started with his monetary policies. First, get rid of all the oil, get rid of energy, kill our energy independence. That shot everything up. I mean, food went up, gasoline went up, everything went up. What a nut. Then he puts in the American Rescue Plan, Inflation Reduction Act, which we didn't get inflation reduction, and the omnibus bill. But let's talk about the American Rescue Plan. That was a joke. That's ridiculous. That caused so much inflation. Are you nuts? It's still with us today. You just can't get rid of inflation by saying, Apple's buying their own shares back. Oh, that's good. Or, Amgen, they found the pill. Everybody's going to get slimmed down now. It's insane. But people buy into this crap. 90% of retail customers lose money because they buy into this crap. You got to follow the money. For 22 years, we've been teaching and mentoring retail people, traders, to use charts. And nobody can make money just buying stocks. 90% of you lose money, 80 to 90% of you lose money because you just buy stocks. If you're just going to buy a stock, you got to trade to perfection. Nobody's that good. But that's all they know. All they have to keep putting out there is, there's going to be a stock buyback. Or we're cutting rates. Anything that they can turn around and say, it's going to be a rate cut. Well, let me tell you something. Inflation, Joe Biden destroyed this country with inflation. You can't get rid of inflation by being a little mouse and raising rates a little bit at a time. Because with inflation, remember what he brought? He brought a huge problem. Biden did. One problem is wages haven't risen enough to keep up with inflation. Wages have been declining at the highest rate in 4 decades because of this guy, or continuing to do so because of this guy. And wages, when adjusted for inflation, have seen the most dramatic yearly drop in 40 years. But nobody's talking about that today. All they're talking about is apple. In fact, I ate an apple. Look at this. Look what fell out of my apple money. I just ate this. I took a bite. Look, everything's apple. You go to the store, buy an apple, money falls out. Apple. The whole answer is apple. Unbelievable. So we got a huge problem. This country's got a huge problem. And every time I say there's going to be a crash, nobody believes it. You got to believe this because wages are the problem. Wages haven't gone up enough. And when you don't have wages keeping up with inflation, you're in real trouble. And when wages have been declining at the highest rate in 4 decades. So see, it's not going to work by just saying, Andrew's got a new pill. Everybody's going to slim down. And Apple's going to buy their own shares back. We got raising rates, and you got to raise rates big. He hasn't done that. But you know why they never raised rates big? They never did what Volcker did. Kill inflation right away. Just kill it. Because all they keep talking about is the same stupid stuff. Soft landing. You're going to win the lottery before you get a soft landing, for God's sakes. These people are so stupid. Soft landing. The sun, the stars, the moon all have to line up perfectly. You're better off going to the grocery store like I did, buy an apple, eat it, and the money will fall out before this happens. Are you nuts? So the sun, the stars, the moons all have to line up perfectly. Interest rates need to be rising at the same time. Think about this. At the same time, inflation needs to be declining. So rates have got to be going up. Inflation's got to be declining. You know how hard that is? What are you, nuts? This is nuts. And economic GDP growth needs to be expanding. So let's think about that. So interest rates got to be going up. And at the same time, you need to see inflation going down. So rates are going up, inflations are going down, declining, and then our economy, our economic GDP growth is expanding. We can't get economic growth to expand because guess what? We have so much debt right now. The debt has gone into the wrong place. The debt has gone into moving the stock market up for 15 years. The debt would have been better off if the CEOs went out and spent money on borrowed money and spent it on productivity, spent it on new machinery, new equipment, increased wages. They didn't do that. For 15 years, we've been buying our own stock. And so today, the market's up 452 points. People thought, this is it. We're on our way. Everything's going to go right back to what it was. We're going to go to zero rates. No, you're not. And remember, inflation only became a problem once Biden took office. That's right. It only became a problem when he took office. Before then, the 8 wealthiest countries, which were one, never had an inflation problem.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand. Especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something that this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
As the new year approaches, make a resolution to challenge yourself to become the best investor you can be. Phil Grande can take your trading to a whole new level. Innovative stock market investing tools and the experience of over 50 years combined to give you the edge in controlling your financial future. As a Phil's Gang member, you're taught the essential strategies of investing using stock charts, training videos, and seminars. It's information Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day it goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, so we know inflation's the problem. We know that because Amgen found a pill that everybody's going to get skinny, and Apple's buying its own shares back, about 110 billion, that everything's going to be okay now. That's what they're trying to tell us. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to just keep going up forever again. We're going to go another 15 years straight up. Well, that ain't going to happen. Let me show you why on my chart. Now, if you can't see this, the show's archived, but this is extremely important so you exactly know what is the market going to do. How many times do everybody asking, what's the market going to do? I'm going to tell you exactly what it's going to do. Okay. Go back in history. Look at 2009. See right here, 2009? Let me get my glasses on. 2009, interest rates, they dropped it to 0.08. 8 tenths of a dollar, like 8 cents. Think of it like 8 cents. That's how crazy it is. 8 tenths of 1%. Now, it stayed that way from 2008. And then when it hit 2017, it went up to 0.65. A little more than 0.5%. You understand? Then they moved it up to, that's when Yellen became Treasury Secretary, I think it was. And all of a sudden, she started to raise rates at 1.58. And the market went down 20%. Bam! because they went from 0.65 to 1.58, 1.5 points. It dropped 20%. So they panicked and said, bring interest rates back to zero. So they brought it back to 0.08 in 2020, exactly where it was in 2009. So now they rally the market up to January 2022. From 2020, they didn't change the rate, kept it 0.8. So from 2009 to January 2022, how many years is that? 13 years? 13 years, rates went above 1%. 1% for about a month. So rates were at zero. And you wonder why the stock market went up? All the corporations had to do, remember where the corporations got the money. They had to print money, increase the money supply by 17 trillion, that's pure inflation. 17 trillion they had to increase the money supply by. The 17 trillion they gave to the banks. They said, now loan it to the CEOs. And they said to the CEOs, don't you dare loan it to small businesses. Don't you dare lend it to a person that's in trouble with his house. You keep buying your own shares. Because they didn't need to have earnings. So all they had to do, they took 17 trillion and they kept buying their own shares to reduce the number of shares they have outstanding. And when you reduce your shares from 1,000 shares down to 200 shares, your earnings go up and pushes up your stock price without having profits. That's called a bubble. That was criminal. That used to be a crime. Reagan undid the crime, said no more crime. So now think about this. So now, from 2008, they panicked when they had, in 2020, they raised it from 0 to 1.58. The market went down 20%. They changed it back to 0.8, zero interest rates for sake of argument, from March 2020 up to January 2022. That's 2 years. The market shot up big time. I think it went up, 30%, 35, 40%? Well, they figure that out. March 2020 to January 2022. But the reason the market came down from January 2022 to October, that was another correction, because the same thing happened back in January 2020. When they raised it to 1.58, the market dropped 20%. Now in January 2022, after this big rally from 2020 to 2022, I think it's about a 35% rally, it dropped. It dropped again, about 20%. Why? Because rates started to go from 0.8 up to 3.8. Now, inflation was so huge. To January 2022, the market went up 120%. 109%. Why? It wasn't on earnings. It had nothing to do with earnings. There was no earnings. Stock buybacks. All they did is reduce the number of shares they had outstanding. That automatically pushes up their earnings without profits. And then your stock price goes up without profits. It's called unearned increment. So now, when the market dropped from January 2022 down to October 2022, about 20%, the rates were 3.8. Now they moved rates up to 5%. Everybody thought, wow, we're going to go down 60, 70%. No, the market starts rallying on 5% rates. From October 2022 up to March of 2024, the market goes up on 5%. Wait a minute. How does this make any sense? The whole market's gone up on less than 1% for 15 years, or from 2009 to 2022. And then they pushed the market up from 2022 to 2024 on 5%. So wait a minute, how does that make sense? How does the market go up when they're pushing up rates when the whole market since 2009 was going up because of zero? Because what they do, they created a story. What was the story? Rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts. What they do today? Same thing. They did the same thing today. Same thing. That's why you're getting a rally. We're up 458 points. Because Monday, when they came out and we had the 500-point rally, it went right back down. It was only up 85 points when we closed because they said there's not going to be rate cuts and there's not going to be rate hikes. But boy, today they had the opportunity to take and create a story because they said, oh, look at this. We got a cool job number. Jobs, instead of coming in at 240, whatever it was, came in at, what was it? Whatever it was, they came in cool. They came in cool. There was actually less jobs than they thought. So they said it was going to come at 243. They came in at 175. They said, oh, wow. And then they said, oh, the unemployment rate is going up from 3.8 to 3.9. So you had a cool job number. So you had less jobs than you thought, and you had a higher unemployment rate. That's a perfect setup for what? Oh, they're going to have to cut rates. Here we go again. Nowhere since 2009 have we had earnings. We had 7 companies driving this whole market. And lately there's been one company, and it's starting to fall apart, NVIDIA. So today they create this fake rally again. And people are jumping in stocks left and right. Join my gang. I'm going to show you what sector you're going to make money with this. With the stocks are going to go down. And this isn't going to last. This is not going to last. If anyone can explain to me, why would a stock market go from October 2023 or from October 2022, where rates went from October 2022 to March 2024, why would the market go up about 30% or more when rates were going up from 3.8 to 5%? That makes no sense. So today, that's why they had to come in today and create another narrative. Rate cuts. It's not going to last. Now, take oil. I am telling you, everybody doesn't get this. I told my gang members, let's keep shorting oil. Remember now, we did very well with oil. We got into oil first. Nobody wanted to get in oil. Everybody said, oh, it's not going to go up at $68 a barrel. So let's buy it. And we did. So what's going to happen with oil now? Well, when we get back, I'm going to explain to you why oil is going to create. And if you short oil, you got a high probability of making money.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. you make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. 80 to 90% of retail investors lose money because they only buy stocks. They're scared to short. They only buy. And when you buy a stock, just buy, do you understand the odds are against you? Because you have to trade to perfection. Even the best traders can't do that. And you got retail retail traders that are out there trading. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Never take a lesson on charting. Just like people, why are people lousy golfers their whole life? Because they never took a lesson. Took maybe one lesson. Why are people lousy skiers? Never take a lesson. Never take a lesson. It's the same thing. People just get in, they go listen to some idiot on CNBC or Bloomberg's or MSNBC or whatever, and they follow them. They keep looking for that hot stock tip. There's no such thing. You got to know how to anticipate. It's all about anticipating. The market's forward-looking, not backwards. It's forward-looking. And by the time they give you the information, tell you this hot stock you should buy, they already bought it. They already made money. Now they're going to make more money selling it to you. It's ridiculous. Join our gang. So this way here, we aren't just teaching. We've been teaching how to use a chart to invest with, to trade with for 22 years, almost 25 years actually, 25 years. 25 years. And we just don't teach here at Phil's Gang. Our members, we mentor them. Just like I get a kick out of these people who sign up for these stock tips. They're going to give you a stock. Sign up and we'll give you 3 stocks a week, give you 5 stocks a week. What good is that? What good is a stock pick? It's ridiculous. And do you know how many people are out there giving stock picks? And people sign up and pay big money to get a stock tip. Isn't that ridiculous? And most of them are no good. And if they're good, you don't know what to do with them. I say you think, oh, Joe Suckface Broker is going to give me a stock tip. I'm going to take it to exactly what he said. I'm going to buy. It goes up. Then it comes down. You lose money. Gives you another. It goes up. Comes down. What do you do when it starts going down? Oh, I'll get out before it goes down. Oh, no. Don't tell me that bunch of nonsense. You don't get out before it goes down. Nobody gets out before it goes down because people are greedy. It's just part of the game. It's natural. I need that one more dollar. I need that. If it just goes up a little bit more, if it just goes up 5 more, I'll get out then. People don't get out. They get blown out. But here at Phil's Gang, 25 years of teaching retail customers just like you, so that you are not in that group that loses money, because not only will you know how to buy a stock, we were the first ones to get into oil. We were the first ones to get into gold. We always buy stocks, groups that nobody wants, that are so unpopular. That's how you make money, first of all. And then you got to manage that money. Remember, it's not about stock, it's about managing money. Managing your money is what it's about. So join the gang for 10 days. We'll mentor you. And we just don't give you a stock tip. We give you the greatest stocks. Greatest stocks. But you're not left alone with the stock on your own. We'll mentor you all the way through the stocks we give you. That's how it works. So let me tell you about why this market, they're lying about stagflation, why this market is going to have one hell of a crash. Phil's been saying that for a long time, never happened. What do you mean it hasn't happened? It happened in 2018. I predicted that crash. It went down 22%. I predicted the March 2020, and I had my gang short there. That went down about, 22%. I predicted the crash in January 2022 to October 2022. That went down about, 28%. What are you talking about? Oh, Phil does it. He's wrong all the time. What do you mean wrong? I predicted each one of those crashes. But the more important, we got them on the upside, too. See, that's the thing. You got to make money when the market goes up and when the market goes down. But with stagflation, it's going to be harder. Now, listen to these dopes. Listen to this. These dopes are unbelievable. Listen.
And of course, with inflation, we will return inflation to 2%. And so I don't see the stag or the inflation.
What? He doesn't see the stag or the inflation? Well, he's a dope. I mean, this guy knows nothing. He knows nothing. And he'll deny stagflation until everybody's broke. Stagflation is when the economy slows. Let's check it out. Has the economy slowed? Yes. We went from 3.4 to 1.6. Check that one off. Stagflation is when prices go up. Price inflation. Well, let's see about that one. We have the biggest gains in 1 year thanks to Joe Biden, up 3.4%. Check that one off. That's two now. What's this idiot looking at? What's stagflation? When consumer spending slows. Let's check that out. We just got those numbers. Consumer spending has slowed from 3.3 to 3.5. Check that one off. What's he talking about? Here comes the big one. Next comes the layoffs. Wages and benefits in the first quarter have gone up 1.2%. You want to see layoffs? We just had a massive layoff with Google. Everybody's going to start laying off now because we're in stagflation. And he says there's no stagflation. He's a bald-faced nut. The guy's a nut. Doesn't know what he's talking about. You got everything you need to see there's stagflation. Why do you think they rigged the market today with the job numbers being cool? And isn't that cruel? Everybody's celebrating today because the job numbers were cool. That's what started the rally. You can't get a job, but Wall Street's happy. Are you kidding me? Are you nuts? So the job numbers are cooling. And there are going to be big layoffs. I mean, this always happens. Because labor is the biggest cost. Labor is the biggest cost. And you're not going to see interest rates coming down. Interest rates are going to go up. Because costs are going up. Inflation's still going up. So anyone tells you he's going to bring us back to 2%, know why he's saying that? Because there's an election. He's being told to say that. I mean, this is unbelievable. To say, I mean, how could he say that? Now, oil, let's talk about oil. If oil starts breaking through $80, what was it today? Where's it now? Just under 80. I said 3 days ago, that would be my pivot point. If it drops under 80, oil is going to go lower, and we've been short our oil stocks. And oil stocks are going down. You ask any of my gang members, we were right on that. And it's now at 78. And I said, that's the pivot point I'm going to use. That's my gang. That's the pivot point we're going to use, 80. It dropped below there. I said, if it goes above 85, then we're going to pivot to the upside. So we'll pivot to the upside if it goes up above 85. We'll pivot to the downside if it goes below 80. Went below 80, and guess what? And then one thing I told him to short is make sure you start shorting the refiners. Those are the ones that get really hit first, refiners, especially going into the summer. So, and MPC, that has dropped big time. MPC went from a high of 221. It's down today to 182, I think it is. But right. 182. I had him short. I had him 18%. But I had him start shorting, though, when it turned red from 200 down to 182. We told him to start shorting at 200 because our color-coded chart, we depend on that because it's never wrong. It tells you when to start your short just like it tells you when to start your long. Look, join my gang. Go to my site, philsgang.com. It's 10 days, and we will mentor you through buying stocks and, more important, shorting stocks. When they go down, you got to know how to sell them short. You can't make money consistently by just buying stocks. It's impossible.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.